baby. Do you have any advice for him?
I got a lot of advice for him, but I'm happy for him, man. Told him welcome to fatherhood. Look, he's already strong, but you know it's different. If y'all got kids, you get that dad strength.
You guys obviously are a proud defense, and you have high expectations. Just how motivated are you this week to put last week out of your?
We're very motivated. It was just good to get back to work and get back to the things that we could work the kinks out from the last game that we had. And we're not like just forgetting about it, but we're ready for this week, and I think we're ready to go.
When you look at the run game that the Jags have, they can be pretty explosive. Is there something that's unique about what they're doing, or is there something specific that jumps out?
I think like little issues that we had the past couple of games. They have a good perimeter run game, and I think we got to hone in on that. And we have to be able to answer the call.
Jarran, Mike was fairly critical of the tackling you guys have been doing recently. How do you kind of take that yourselves, and when you look at it, and where's that shortfall coming, and how do you kind of work at it at this time of year where you're not going to the ground in practice and doing those sorts of things on a daily basis?
Yeah, I think the thing is just taking the extra step. The guys, getting a body on them. And it's kind of hard to do that when you're not in pads. So you got to put more of emphasis on it, right? When we're in practice. So things that we're doing now is just making sure we're taking the extra step, making sure we get in contact with the guy, not taking him to the ground, but putting the body on the body. I think we've done a good job tackling this season, way better than some of the past seasons. And, it was just a quick fix. That was the NFL, right? Stuff happens in games, and you get to come back and you get to have a chance to change those things.
When you explain it like that, it does sound like a quick fix in the game. Like, that tackling isn't where you want it to be. Why is that a hard thing to change when you're in game?
Kind of thing in this game, you know how when the game goes and stuff happens, as players, you got to be able to forget the last play and play the next play. And sometimes you can lose sight of that. We're normal, we're all humans, and it happens. But, that now that we're on it, I think the guys are taking the initiative with inside themselves to make sure that each guy takes the next step when they're there to make those plays. And once again, we got to hold each other accountable. So we all got to be ready for constructive criticism, and we got to take that and we got to hit it head on.
When the offense was going in early OTAs, it was a lot of times the defense was ahead of the offense here. Are you a little surprised by how quickly this offense has become really powerful?
No, I think I said this before in the previous interview. I had a feeling they're going to be real good. The way they work, the way they attack the ball, the offensive coordinator is great. The offensive line coach is great. I think their mentality overall is great. I love to see it, man. Offense that could do that. They had our back last game. And, that's the way the season's going to go. That's why we're a team for a reason. It takes all three phases. I tell them that all the time. It's just good to see them go out and make plays. It's actually makes us as a defense have to go out there and make sure we do our part as well to help the offense.
You said you have a great offensive coordinator, great offensive line coach. You've got a unique perspective on seeing different offensive line coaches come in here. What makes him great from your perspective?
I think it's the mentality that he teaches the guys and how he's coaching them. He's doing a very great job, man. And the guys are actually taking issues with inside themselves to ask questions, to really care about it, to be students of the game, and to want to be great, man. I think those guys all on the front, they're hungry, they're humble, and they work hard.
Can you tell that A.J. Barner plays tight end with the mentality of a linebacker?
It's crazy because I actually just told him that today, man. I love the way he plays. I love his enthusiasm, his energy, what he brings, the toughness. It reminds you of tight ends from like back in the day, the grit that he has and determination, the physicality that he plays with.
When you're communicating like on defense pre-snap and you're at home and it's really loud, is it any harder to do that, like to communicate the stuff you have to communicate in this defense compared to like the past defenses?
Yes, there's a lot of communication. And it's a lot of communication in practice. There's a lot of communication between each other in the locker room. And I'm laughing because we got to make sure we talk with each other. Look, we got great fans, man, and we love when it's loud. But we got to be able to adjust to that on our side. And we know that during the week. So, like, before the crowd gets loud, we got to make sure we over-communicate then so we can already be a step ahead with each other while we're talking to each other. And when the crowd gets loud within the play, if it's anything, we got to make sure that we're on our signals and communication. We can't hear them. We have to get closer to relay the message.
Are you like the communication that you're doing, is that usually just with the front guys, or do you ever have to turn around and hear from Ernest or?
Oh, of course. Ernest is the quarterback of our defense, and we do have to hear some certain calls, but majority of the time, like I just made a joke to Mike today, certain calls that we have, my ears shut off after the front call. So, but we do have to have open ears and have awareness to adjustments that we may have.
You talked about the offensive line wanting to ask questions and get better. Is that common? Do you have offensive lines you've talked to as much as this one?
Well, no, because I think just in the past few years, it's been an older line. A couple of guys who've been experienced, so they kind of like had their own style or deal. But this line is kind of young, and like I said, they're students of the game, man. They love to learn any chance they get, and we're a little bit on the older side on the defense. So with every game, we got to pour into them stuff that we see, stuff that we change, or how that we see stuff from a defensive perspective that we can give to those guys and they can use it.
Did you get to spend any time with some of the former Seahawks when it came for the top 50 stuff?
Oh, yeah, man. Those guys are like my brothers. Like, they're like my big brothers, man. I'm their little brother. So, anytime I get to see those guys, it's just like a family reunion to me. Getting to see those guys come back, man. Then it just really hits me that I've been playing for a long time as well, seeing them out there with the Jackson stuff on.
You're the pregame speech guy now. It seems to be. Who was that when you were like a young player? Was that Cam or someone else?
That's a great question. I really don't remember, to be honest. It was something everybody talking. That team was just full of dogs, so everybody had something to say. I was just a little puppy just listening, just ready to go play hard for those guys.
When did you start to take over this?
I have no clue, but now I just be having a lot of energy. I talk a lot, and I be trying to let the other guys talk, and sometimes I think my mouth just starts before I even think.
When you do address the team, is it just off the cuff, or you kind of have an idea of what you want the message to be?
I ain't gonna lie. I started, taking nuggets throughout the week, certain words or certain feelings that I feel that I want the team to know, or a type of mentality I want to take on. And from my point of view, I just want to relate it to them so we can all be on one accord from my point of view. But each person talks. Charles may talk, EJ, Leo, Sam. It's not just one guy. I just happen to be the guy in the middle of the huddle all the time. Maybe the pre-workout.
Is it hard to come up with something new to say every week, or is it kind of like similar things every week?
No, it's not similar. Like I said, it depends on how the week went, what we made emphasis on during the week, or maybe just sitting at home in the bathroom or something, or just thinking about football, or if I'm watching like Thursday night football, it's just, or even the movie, something that can keep us together, something that can have our mentality right to go into that game, and just basically those type of things.
Is there any kind of meal that you would want to get when you go back to the South, back to Jacksonville?
No, not before the game. Probably afterwards. I can't eat before I play. It just makes me feel kind of sluggish. But it's good to go back to the South. I'm from the South, and the food is a lot different. You put a lot more calories on you and high blood pressure.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.